This is the culprit of the snoring. This thing, for everybody who's mentioned the snoring. Right, guys, I've got a video for you, which is one of my students, or a student of my school, Natoryu, and he's going to go through the art of war. Now, what I'm going to do is link his original video below. He's given me a short version. So what I'm going to do is link his original video below. Please go across to his channel and subscribe. He's a good lad. He's called Mike, and he's German. And go over, follow him and see what you think. And the video he's got is much longer than this, so enjoy. And thanks to Bolt, who won't bloody well stop snoring in every bloody video that I do. So everybody who's commenting on the snoring, it's this man.
Hi everyone, my name is Mike, and as you can see, I'm one of Antony's Natoryu students. He has asked me to do a shortened version of my video for you guys on his channel, and this is it. If you like what you see, please hop over to my channel, Project Archangel, and watch the original video in its full length. You will find the link to my channel down below and also at the end of the video. If you are into the way of the warrior, I'm sure you will find some interesting material on my channel, and I would love, and it would really help me out, if you could leave me a subscription. That's it from me. Enjoy the video. This video series will help you to understand the principles behind Sun Tzu's book, The Art of War, and how to apply them to your life. Today we're going to look at the different ways of using deception in order to create a strategic advantage. Sun Tzu's The Art of War is the best known classical text on military strategy. Its teachings are not only valuable to the battlefield commander, but can also be used for business negotiation, leadership development, and many other fields as well. However, you need to be able to understand the underlying principles in order to apply them to the situations that you encounter. The book that I'm using for this series is The Ultimate Art of War by Antony Cummins. So while there was a place for personal honor, a military leader's main concern has to be winning by all means. And the use of deception has to be an essential part of the overall strategy. Let's have a look at the 14 deceptions that Sun Tzu mentions in The Art of War. Each of these deceptions has the goal of weakening the position of the enemy and to create gaps that you may be able to exploit. Now, who would a commander use to execute these deceptions? In the Sengoku period, they had their own special operations forces. They were called shinobi no mono, which is contemporarily now mislabeled as ninja. Now, these forces definitely existed because there are old army lists from that time that specifically list them as units. Now these could either act as commando units, for example for night raids, or as spies within the enemy ranks, getting information, spreading misinformation, or conducting acts of sabotage at the right moment, like causing fires and opening gates. So let's get into the 14 deceptions. Number 1, pretend to be incompetent. If you manage to disguise the fact that your forces are ready to engage, the enemy may act with less urgency in their own preparation because he thinks he still has time, or think it's a good opportunity to attack you and attack with a suboptimal force. Number 2, disguise when your troops are about to be deployed. Certain routines that are necessary before a unit moves will act as a signal for the enemy that you are about to move. For example, you have to pack up the camp or assemble the troops into formation. Try to disguise those activities as much as possible and train to do them in as little time as you can in order to give the enemy the shortest window of opportunity to react. Number 3, when near appear far, when far appear near. So when your main forces are still far away, you want the enemy to think that they're actually very close, because this will change his strategy. Now you can do that by either sending some advanced units closer to the enemy and make them set up a situation that looks like they are a much bigger force. For example, light a lot of fires to simulate a large camp. And on the other hand, if you have your main force close to the enemy, you should get him to think that you're still far away. Number 5, offer the enemy what he wants. Now this is a classical bait action. Here you would present a target like an undefended or little defended position in order to lure him out of his prepared position, which would 1, weaken that position, and 2, expose the troops that he's sending out, and they would be an easy target for you. Number 6, create disorder and strike. If you are in a prepared defensive position, you are very strong because everything is in order, everyone knows where he has to watch, everyone is prepared and ready. Now, as soon as this unit has to move somewhere else, it obviously loses a lot of the advantages that it had when it was in the prepared position. So any movement will weaken a unit. Number 9, enrage the enemy into making mistakes. Now this will work especially well with a commander that is prone to anger outbursts or to impulsive reactions. So how could you enrage someone? You could torture prisoners publicly so that the enemy sees that. You could spread rumors about him. You could call him out publicly. You know, the old your mom thing. The goal is to provoke a revenge move by him. Once he's going for revenge, you can give him a small victory that will spur him on even farther. Classic example here is that you're retreating with your forces that he has just had a small victory against, and now he thinks he can just roll you up. And then of course he's going to run into your ambush or your counterattack. Number 12, if the enemy is at full strength, tire him out. Now that means if the enemy is well fed, rested, healthy, and relaxed, you have to change that. And you change that by A, making him move, B, disrupt their sleep, C, interrupt their food supply, and E, expose them to diseases.
Number 1, we would start tiring him out because they are probably still well rested, they have good resources, so their morale is probably pretty good. We should have our own spies within his encampment if we prepared properly for this warfare. We would start burning or poisoning food stores, for example. This would sow distrust and decrease the morale of the population and the garrison. We are feigning moving away. But as soon as they are out of sight, the heavy cavalry would get off their horses and the horses would still be moving with the army. So it would look like the numbers of the army are still the same, and they would hide in the woods and infiltrate as close to the edge of the woods as possible, so they are still in striking distance to the castle. And then the army would start basically burning and plundering villages. Our shinobi no mono, the commando units, would sneak as close as possible to the main gate, under cover of darkness of course, and hide. Now he would publicly call him out, call him a coward for not fighting him, and basically sacrificing his people that he has the duty to protect. He would take his heavy cavalry with him and try to get us. When the gate is opened and they are coming out, they would go in behind them and try to fight for the control of the gate. These guys are going to make their move as well. Once we have control of the gate, the castle basically is going to fall. So these are a few principles that you would all use in combination in order to create chaos and create opportunity and gaps in the defense.